you don't realize how much power you have, or at least your perceived power for your life. And in that moment, at least, and I don't know if this is across the board, but it's been my experience that within an instant, someone can snatch the power. And for me, it was kind of a twofold thing. Was power just as a woman, as a human being, and then doubly so as an American, which we have maybe a little bit of a sense of entitlement, and just, in a heartbeat, it's gone. And I think that that's one of the hardest things to cope with. Part of your gaining your power back is just being able to return to life. That's a hard question, because maybe that's something people don't understand. Some people think that this is something you get over once it's over. Some people understand that it's something that never leaves you. I mean, I was 25 at the time, and I imagine when I'm 85, it'll still be just as vivid as when it happened. I don't think I ever would have fully imagined what it does to your psyche, and when I write about it and when I think about it, it was painful. That sounds crazy, but it was painful on a soul level. Other people have had, survived rapes that were far more violent. Weapons or whatever were used, or they were more injured than I was injured. But it's the internal, it's the spirit injury that seems to last the longest and stay with us the longest. So it takes time to get over such a big wound. Get over is not the right word. It takes time to begin to heal. It's a scarier world, and at times, what's funny is at times it's, at least for me, I can only speak for myself, it's a more beautiful world because you've seen so much darkness, and yet you're so happy to be alive that you tend to treasure the people you love in your life, your family. My entire family was extremely supportive. I'm sure many people don't have that experience where people don't want to talk about it, people don't want to deal with it. For me, and that was probably one of the greatest things that helped me begin healing, was that they recognized what had happened. They were furious. And for us, it was a strange mix of, you want justice. I mean, literally people coming to the door with passports, let's send in the Marines, let's go over there and take care of this guy, versus this is our faith, and how you reconcile your spiritual beliefs with a very human nature that wants to exact revenge and take a life, or at least take something. So like I said, I was apart from them. They considered coming to Africa to help. It just didn't work out that way. My mother can talk about it now pretty freely, and my dad has been really great at listening to, kind of as I have a breakthrough, or as I talk about the book or talk about different things I want to do. They're very supportive, but for a long time it was just so painful. I mean, I'm their only daughter, it's the baby, so I did not want to be broken. I did not want to be, I didn't want to be raped. I didn't want to be a rape survivor. I didn't want to be a victim, mostly. I think the first thing I would say to another survivor who didn't have the support that I have is, for one, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what you went through. And that it's not her or his fault. And for somebody as nutty as me, it takes a long time to forgive yourself for whatever part you think you played in it. Whether for me it was ignoring an instinct or blindly trusting people. So I would tell other survivors that didn't have the support that I had those things primarily, and then I would listen. Because sometimes I think it's important to just let someone give voice to their story. And everybody's story is different, but to each of us, like I say, it's hugely impacting, and it forever changes you, and you're on your own individual timetable. And be gentle with yourself and take care of yourself, and whether it's running or walking a dog or taking a bubble bath or digging in your flower bed, whatever it is that helps you kind of calm and center, just to be gentle with yourself, because I kind of wanted to ramrod my way through healing. I mean, I tend to be a little bit impatient, and I just wanted to, okay, if I'm going to have to deal with this because I've obviously had some sort of breakdown, then let's hammer through it, and not, Emily would say that it took me a long time before I was willing to cry in her office. I just wasn't ready. And I would tell that to another survivor, that it's okay to break open. Up until the moment of the rape, I think I was still in denial that, I mean, there was a clear-cut moment for me fighting for him not to break my neck. I mean, my feet are literally not touching the ground, and I'm fighting like a wild tiger. And I still thought, I'm Ashley, and I'm an American, and I'm whatever. I'm wherever you're from, whatever your story is, this isn't going to happen to me. It is. It is. And for me, it was a choice of suffer through it and pray to God you get a few more minutes to live, or let him kill you now and dump your body. He's promised you he's going to kill you anyway. So at least this rape buys you a few more minutes to live and think and pray and hope to God the clouds break open and something snatches you out, or some sense kicks in, or so no, you never think it could be you. It's ridiculous. It can happen to anybody at any time. And I think we all think we're pretty invincible from everything in life until we're not. To first think about if it was your mother or sister or daughter or wife, girlfriend, or whatever, a male equivalent, and that you just can't understand the level of trauma this person you're dealing with has been through. If they're talking to you or functioning at all, it's on some basal human just need to survive and get through this. And I spoke at the Survivor Stories that first spring after the attack, and I noticed that there were several other young women whose stories did involve drugs or alcohol, and I think there's such a association of guilt or shame with that. And I would ask that law enforcement please just try your best to reserve judgment and just understand that no matter what the circumstance, that what this person has just survived is forever going to alter their lives and their relationships, and to just consider, regardless of circumstance, how they would feel if it was the women or men in their life closest to them that they loved the most who had just been violated in this most heinous and personal and degrading way. Whatever the victim situation is, it strikes me the same as it's somebody else's problem until it becomes your family's problem. And that's what struck me about, we can hear just last week a story about 200 women being gang raped in the Congo, close to the embassy, or I'm sorry, the UN base. And maybe it's like stories of genocide. It's just too big. What can we do about it? Well, I have friends in Fayetteville on the campus. It's a problem in Arkansas. It's a problem in Little Rock. It's a problem in Fayetteville. It's a problem in the small towns like Hope and Camden and Dumas and Marianna and Helena. It's a problem everywhere. And culturally, I don't think it's too much to expect hearing rape jokes or seeing women chained up like dogs or whatever the case is, to say, you know what, this isn't okay. It's not okay in 2010 or 2020, to still have these attitudes. You don't want people to tiptoe around you, and you want to just get back to life. But your world has changed, and for me, for what I went through, I knew the man who attacked me certainly had done it before. I would find out later that another American woman's body had been found. She didn't make it. I knew he would do it again. I didn't get the justice I sought. I mean, it was just a debacle, to say the least. For me personally, I feel a sense of responsibility to take what I know from somebody who used to believe that it's never the victim's fault, and all those things that are good to believe, but yet this couldn't happen to me, you know. To now being someone that it did happen to, and it's completely changed my life. It's my responsibility to stand up for the oppressed and speak out for victims and give a voice to the voiceless.